Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, the Speaker of Truth. Welcome to, that's right, y'all already know, the Difference Podcast. That's right, because we do things a little bit differently around here, you know what I'm saying? But, anyways, before I hop into it, I just want to let y'all know, you might hear some background noise, some dogs barking. The camera's by the window, you know what I'm saying? So, just understand that going on. I'm at the crib, my parents are here, they might call me, whatever it is, you might hear talking. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, it's your boy. You in the spot. Let's get down to business, y'all. Let's get down to business. So look, man, the title of the episode, bro, look at my face, bro. This is the face of a not happy man. My timer went off right when I was about to say the episode title. What I was trying to say was, the title of the episode is, Are You Overlooked? That's the title of the episode. What I want to do is pose that question to you all as well. So, I'll say it again. Are you, yes you, the listener, the viewer, person, whoever you are you overlooked? Another way to say that is, do you feel overlooked? Those are the two questions. Okay, so I just want those questions, that question, however you want to phrase it, to percolate, linger in your mind. You know what I'm saying? If you have to, pause the video, write it down. You feel what I'm saying? How you feel, how you think about the subject, whatever the case may be. And then once you have the answer to that question, come back, you know what I'm saying? Watch the rest, and then we'll just kind of see how it goes from there. But yeah, so I'll say it again for the third time. Are you overlooked? And I have my handy dandy notes. Yes, sir. Handy dandy notes. And so, the reason I'm asking is because I thought I was overlooked. And the key word in that sentence or in that phrase is I thought. Specifically the word thought. I thought I was overlooked. Okay? And it was based off of a feeling. I felt overlooked. You see what I'm saying? And I know in one of those podcasts, I can't remember which one. Maybe it was either last week's. I think it was last week. No, that wasn't last week. Because the way I put it on, it definitely wasn't last week. But maybe about 2 or 3 podcasts ago. I think it was the episode called Think for Yourself. Let me set a timer. What time is it? Hold on. 30 minutes from here, 24. Okay. A couple podcasts ago, basically, one of the things that I was trying to say, I did not successfully get the point across in the way in which I would like to have. But how you think shapes how you feel. How you feel shapes how you think. Now, you know what? I'm just going to cut that out. I'm going to cut that out because obviously I don't have that down pat. I might not even cut it out. Scratch everything at this stage. Not everything. Bruh. Get focused. It's game. It's game time. Okay. Messed up there. I'm back. Anyway, I thought I was overlooked, right? And that was based on a feeling. Okay? And how we feel may be accurate. That may be a very accurate feeling. I don't want to discount how you feel. Because if somebody were to tell me what you're feeling isn't real in that moment, yeah, if you're not watching the if you're not watching the YouTube video, you can't see my facial expression, but it's just like, bruh, get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no time for what you're talking about right now, because one thing you're not gonna sit up here and do is tell me how I feel in this moment. You feel what I'm saying? And so, hold on, let me make sure I'm on track. Okay, so I am on track. Okay. So this is what happened. All right. I watched a episode of Grey's Anatomy literally last week. Last Thursday. Today is Thursday. So a week ago. No, I watched it last Friday. So, however many days it is, 8 days ago, 6 days ago, I don't know, I can't do math now. Obviously my brain's not working at 100% this full capacity by how many times it's messed up in this episode already. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because I cut those parts out. But anyways, what happened was I watched the episode of Grey's Anatomy, right? And long story short, this is the condensed version. If you have not seen the latest episodes of Grey's Anatomy around the time period of May 2023, I think this is season 19, potential spoilers, so throwing that out there. But this is what happened. Long story short, two key events. One, there's a doctor that likes another doctor. They have history together. They have a friendship that's lasted years outside of them being doctors, right? And so the one doctor, the first doctor that I mentioned, the first doctor that I mentioned, is now at a point in his life where he is willing and able to basically admit that he has feelings for this other doctor, right? Now, life comes in the way all the time, right? And so what I mean by that is some BS, bro. And this is just my personal perspective. I'm not saying this is what happened in the show. This is how I interpreted it. Seems like anytime you want to fully express yourself, BS happens. So the doctor that he likes, we're going to call her doctor number 2, meets his patient, doctor number 1's patient. The patient, we're going to call him patient X. Patient X likes doctor number 2. Long story short, patient X is pretty much swooning doctor number 2 in the hospital bed, bro. Some real deal. That's a real deal game. You feel what I'm saying? You can have all your bones broken, be in a hospital bed, and you still pulling. That's a shout out to you. But I wasn't feeling that, because what I was feeling was I was doctor number 1 in this situation. So doctor number 1 comes in the room or whatever, and you realize it's like, what's going on, right? So I saw that. I was like, bruh, that's a BS. I was like, bro, that's messed up, bro. Because we got history. I'm about to tell you how I feel. You over here looking at patient X, bro, like I'm not right here. That's just how I felt. That's what happened in the episode. That's how the episode made me feel. That was the first key moment. Second key moment was, this is a much longer thing to explain, so I'm not going to explain all of it. But long story short, they're not interns, they're residents. Residents 1 likes Residents 2. They like each other. But Residents 2 is about to get married. Complicated backstory between all that. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all of it. Long story short, Residents 1 was like, look, yo, I'm gonna call him Buddy. I know what you're thinking. Why are you laughing right now? What is so funny? Hey, personal experience. Buddy. Oh man, Buddy has a significant meaning in my life. But anyways, Residence 1 was like, Buddy don't see you how I see you. You need to drop Buddy. Drop him. Don't get married. Don't do it. Let's get married. Secular music. Anyways, drop Buddy, bruh. Drop Buddy, because if you don't drop Buddy, you know what I'm saying, you're going to regret. He didn't say this, but you're going to regret marrying Buddy. Because he don't see you. And Residence 1 was like, but I see you. And long story short, he walked away. Real gangster stuff right there. Real G-ish. You feel what I'm saying? And Residence 2 started crying. That's what you're supposed to do in life. That's what you're. That's how you're supposed to move. You're supposed to be out here. You're supposed to say how you feel. You feel what I'm saying? You're supposed to have people. I don't want to say infatuated with you, because that kind of makes it seem like, you know, like you got them in a grip. I'm not saying have people in grips. You know what I'm saying? But if you got something that's real, you should feel me. I should feel you. Y'all should have some sort of connection. And if the connection is real, you should be able to understand what I'm saying is true. And when the truth comes out, you may not be able to deal with that truth. But what I took away from that situation was Residence 2 knew Residence 1 was not lying. No capping his rap, all facts, all day. You feel what I'm saying? That's why he was able to just walk away. That's why she was able to start crying. And so I brought up that second situation because it's like Residence 1 has kind of been there from the jump. You feel what I'm saying? They built this relationship up. Residence 2 really decides, like, I'm gonna marry Buddy, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? But it's just like, bro, like, stop. I was looking at both of them situations, like, bro, stop playing with me. Why y'all playing with my emotions, bro? Not the show, like real life. Like why y'all playing with my emotions? Why y'all do it? That's how I felt upon watching the show. I was asking myself, like, niggas out here playing with me, bro. Like, why y'all playing with me? And so that leads down into the next point. So this is the reality of the situation. I'm gonna bring it all around. So I'm gonna summarize real quick, and then I'm gonna go into the reality. All right, just stick with me. So first, I asked the question. I brought up that it was a thought. That's just, you know, I thought I was overlooked. The question was, are you overlooked? The reason I asked was because I thought I was overlooked. Then I explained why I felt I was overlooked. Grey's Anatomy episode. That's why I broke down the Grey's Anatomy episode. It wasn't pointless. So this is reality. The reality of the situation is, after I made that after I watched that Grey's Anatomy episode, and I felt like I was being overlooked, I was so emotional, I decided I was going to hop on this podcast and make a whole podcast about it. Now, originally, I thought the podcast was dirt. Then I watched the podcast, and I was like, no, this podcast, I wouldn't say it was quote-unquote amazing, but it was good enough to go up, so I was going to post it. And so it's been in the vault. It's in the vault right now. In the podcast that I was filming after having watched Grey's Anatomy, I stated there are people in my corner. And I said all that to basically say, to make this point, there are many people in my corner who see me. Sometimes when you're after something, you don't appreciate what you already have. Okay? So even though I was feeling overlooked, I was still able to fully recognize that there were people in my life who did not overlook me, but the overarching feeling of being overlooked was too captivating, you feel what I'm saying, for me to fully appreciate the people that really help build me up and really do see me and things of that nature, right? And so that's the real point that I'm trying to make. It's like, I don't even want to say you have to do, because it's a we situation. You feel what I'm saying? I can even go more specific and say me. What I have to do a better job of is not necessarily focusing on the external. And when I say external, I mean the goals and the dreams that I have and the results of that. when I already have so many other people and things that I know are there for me in a very real way. To me, somebody that's overlooked is really somebody that's really alone, like they're on an island. And that's not my situation. And I'm making this episode to say, like I made the last episode. When I say the last episode, I'm talking about that Grey's Anatomy episode that y'all have not seen. I recorded that podcast because of how I felt. I'm recording this podcast because of reality. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get deeper into that as well. But it's just like, I'm not on no island. And I bet if you were to look into your life, you're probably not on no island either. And you could have a whole list as to reason why you think you are on the island. Maybe you are really on the island. And I'm gonna address that too. If you're really on the island, I'm gonna address that too. More towards the end. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Got about 20 minutes. So yeah, man, that's more or less the first point. Here go the second point. Okay. So this is what changed everything, right? Up until this point, not this specific point. When I say this specific point, what I mean is like what you're watching right now. It's not what I mean. When I say up until this point, what I'm talking about is what I'm about to tell you. So up until this point, I was gonna put the podcast up, right? And when I say the podcast, I'm talking about the podcast that I recorded about the Grey's Anatomy episode and how I felt, right? And then, so I watched Grey's Anatomy Friday night, and then let's just say 4 or 5 days went by, and I got off of work, and I got a phone call, and it was from an unknown number. And they left me a voicemail, and they sent me some text messages. And basically, they was like, "We want you to speak at this church event." And I was like, I looked at them text messages. I was like, bro, what? I was so confused. So I called the number back, long story short. And this is how the conversation went. One key thing was said that stuck out to me. The church event that they wanted me to speak at is for high school students that have just graduated, and they're on their way to college. It's the summer right now, so in the fall they will be on their way to college. So they're having a luncheon, and it's going to be a panel, and it's going to be on people that went to college. Now, I don't know who all is watching this right now, but if you don't know, I went to college 3 semesters. Now it's been 4, but that's regardless. 3 semesters. 2016. First semester, failed out. Second semester, failed out. Third semester, failed out. Done. So they talking about me speaking on a college panel. So I had to tell them, I was like, I appreciate it. This is great. But y'all know I fell out of college, right? Y'all know I fell out of college. I was like, I'm in college right now. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got no degree. She was like, man, that's fine. I was like, okay. Hey, bet. Okay. And then she was like, the youth pastor. She said, the youth pastor said you're very outspoken. And so that leads me not into my next point, but kind of tying what I was saying previously and interwoven with the fact of that how we feel and how we think is not necessarily what reality is. Okay? So I'm trying to think on how I'm gonna break this down. So I don't know what made the youth pastor say I was very outspoken, but that just goes to show me I'm not overlooked. And I'm trying to prove the point to you all that if you feel overlooked or if you think you're overlooked, there are 9 times out of 10, I'm willing to bet, people see you. You just don't see them seeing you because maybe they don't acknowledge it in that moment. Or maybe they don't acknowledge it how you want them to acknowledge it. Maybe that's what it is, right? So you can receive a compliment, but it's not the compliment wrapped up and said or packaged the way in which you would like. So you accept the compliment, but you don't acknowledge it as a true acknowledgement, if that makes sense, right? So she was like, the youth pastor said, you're very outspoken. So in my head, I was like, how does the youth pastor know that? Because I don't have a ton of like interactions with this dude. But I was like, if he, out of the 3 times we've talked, if he got that out of what I said, maybe like one specific time, I'm on to something. So then I was like, oh, if y'all are calling me, telling me to be on this, on this panel for this luncheon, to speak to high school students, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not overlooked, obviously. So what really happened was, once I got that phone call and got all the details and locked everything down, I didn't carry how I felt from that Grey's Anatomy episode into the future. I didn't carry that feeling. It was just kind of in the moment type of thing. Because I know I'm the type of person, I know how to deal with my feelings. And just because I'm feeling some sort of way doesn't mean that I have to, carry that baggage with me. You feel what I'm saying? That's just how I felt. Go to sleep, wake up, keep it pushing. You feel what I'm saying? Like the grind don't stop. But that's another episode. Talked about that before. So I didn't carry that energy with me into the following week. But what I did recognize was like, I can't put that podcast up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what led me to making this one. Because it was like, the reality of the situation is I did still feel overlooked in the past. But the reality was like, I'm not overlooked. So I can definitely make a podcast out of how I felt in the past and what the reality is in the present. The difference between the two, right? And so that's the reality piece, you know what I'm saying? And I would say the biggest takeaway from that, if I haven't already stated, I'm gonna restate it. I'll state it like that, or I'll say it like that, is people see you, regardless of whether you want to accept that or not. If you're doing your thing, you know what I'm saying? If you're really like putting the work in, you know what I'm saying? If you're really about that action, if you're really grinding hard, people see that. You know what I'm saying? So don't allow that overlooked feeling to take over, you know what I'm saying, just because you haven't gotten your acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? And you can be saying, well, bro, aren't you making this podcast because you got your acknowledgement? I am. And that's why I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, even if I never got the acknowledgement how I wanted it, my perception was not matching my reality. I'm trying to get your perception to match your reality. In a way, this is like a wake-up call. I feel like this happened to me, not only to wake me up, but this happened to me, to a certain extent to wake y'all up. You know what I'm saying? And another piece of that is just like, I really already stated this, but it's like, just keep doing your thing. Cause let's talk about that for a minute, right? Like I was still doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't stop, regardless of if nobody had acknowledged me, the podcast was still gonna be going up. The podcast was going up beforehand. You know what I'm saying? I was still gonna go to work. You know what I'm saying? I was still gonna be productive throughout my day. So even if I got this acknowledgement and now I'm putting up this podcast, understand the work was still put in. So you can say, yeah, you only doing this because that happened. I'm saying, yeah, that's true. That's true. But no, I was still gonna be putting in them reps. You know what I'm saying? That work was still gonna be getting done. So don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Third point. My friend told me I'm not overlooked. And I told him basically what I'm telling y'all. 54, 30 minutes, 20. Okay, so I got about 10 minutes. So I told him the story that I'm basically telling y'all about Grey's Anatomy, about the church event, and basically how I came to the conclusion that I'm not overlooked. He was like, bro, you're not overlooked. And I didn't even ask him why he said that. I just kind of charged it to the game and did my own self-interpretation because, one, he's the type of friend I trust, right? I only have friends that I trust. I'm not going to call you my friend if I don't trust you. That's the first thing. But deeper than that, it's just like, if my friend is telling me I'm not overlooked, to me, I don't necessarily have to press the issue because I trust your opinion. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? So I will ask him that. I know that contradicts what I just said, but now I'm just curious, you know what I'm saying, to see. And I think what he meant by that was like, he's seen me in situations where people have acknowledged me in different areas and ways, you know what I'm saying? He acknowledges me, you know what I'm saying? So to sit here and tell him I feel overlooked while I'm sure he's like, bro, I see you, you feel me? Is probably like a slap to him, slap to his face. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, I'm locked in with you, bro. Like not an island. You know what I'm saying? So, that was really like the third point. Like, I'm telling you, you're not overlooked. And the reason why I know is because I've been where it is that you are in many different forms and on many different levels. You know what I'm saying? So there have been times, I spoke about this, I don't know what podcast it was, but I spoke about this some episodes ago, where I was basically saying there was a point in time in my life where I felt like I was alone. And alone and overlooked aren't necessarily the same, but they're similar. And for me, I felt like I was alone based off of action that happened. And once that action happened, the feeling came. Once the feeling came, the thought came, and the thought led back to the action and just reinforced the action. So that's really the triangle. It was an event, a feeling, a thought, and that thought reinforced the action. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know why I keep coming back to trying to make that line up. I'm gonna get it one day. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I just can't put it into the words yet to where I can really like scope it how I want to. I think y'all will understand what I'm trying to say. I'll say this. What I'm trying to say is something happened to me. I felt a certain way. It changed how I thought. You see what I'm saying? It changed how I thought. And every time a new action happened, I always went back to that same feeling, which led to that same thought. And it was just a cycle. It just kept going over and over again until something came in and told me, bro, no, that's not no, that's not true. And it wasn't until I broke, or that something broke the cycle, to where I was able to disrupt it. Because it wasn't fully broken, but I no longer could rely on that perception because I knew the truth. You know what I'm saying? I had a newfound reality. So I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you, girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, person, whoever you are, you are not overlooked. And you want to know how I know? Because you're watching this podcast. And I'm telling you, if you think you're overlooked, hit me in the comments below. DM me. Stay until the end of the video. You'll see all my socials. Hit me on one of those platforms, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'll respond. You know what I'm saying? And to me, how can you say you're overlooked and we're having a full-blown conversation? If I'm saying, you know, like, what are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? This is how you get to where you want to be. You know, that's dope. You know, I'm messing with that. I'm not messing with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be the speaker of truth. If you want some BS, I'm say that's some BS. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, if you think you're overlooked, if nobody's seen you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just letting you know, like, I see you, bro. Maybe I don't know you, you know what I'm saying? But you can be seen. Like, so don't go on that I'm overlooked, I'm alone type energy, man, because it's not reality. Even if it does feel that way, because I know what it's like to be there. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's 30 more or less on the dot. Only thing else I got for y'all is some scripture. That's right, just to show y'all what's up. So I would suggest y'all read Proverbs 3, the entire chapter. It's about, or it says, wisdom bestows well-being. And I think the best thing to combat what is it? Being overlooked or feeling alone. Like I said, they're not the same thing, they're just similar. Is a good well-being. I'm sorry. A good thing to combat feeling overlooked / being alone is wisdom. Because when you have wisdom, you're able to look at things objectively. Okay? When you start to look at things objectively, you can say, this is the truth. This may be how I feel, this may be how I think, but this is the truth. That's what wisdom gives you. Okay? And when you have the truth, you can operate in a completely different power, in a completely different reality versus how you feel and how you think. Not saying that how you feel and how you think is wrong. Not saying how you feel and how you think is not true. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said in the beginning, if somebody tell me how I'm feeling is wrong, like, bro, we gonna have a problem. I'm gonna look at you a little crazy. You feel what I'm saying? Because your feelings are real. You feel what I'm saying? But there's a difference between operating in how you feel when in reality versus operating in the truth while in reality. Those are two different worlds. You see what I'm saying? So this is I would encourage you to read the whole chapter. It's not a long chapter, but this specifically what I'm going to state is Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. So it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your paths straight. So if you feel overlooked, trust God. You know what I'm saying? If you think or feel you're overlooked, don't lean into that. Don't. Because it's going to take you down a dark road. I've been down there before. Not where you want to go. Lean on the Lord. I'm not saying trying to understand where the Lord is going with your life. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we all a little lost when it comes to that, especially during hard, difficult times. You know what I'm saying? But don't lean on your own understanding. Trust in the fact that God got you. He's got your back, and have faith. You know what I'm saying? Have strength in the fact that God's got me. No matter what the situation may look like. If you can have faith and have strength knowing that, hey, God's got me, you're going to live a completely different life. You're going to be able to smile through the storm. You're going to be able to smile through some BS, all that type of stuff. And when you submit all your ways to him, he will make your path straight. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's like just the how do I want to phrase it? That's the result. When you trust in God, you submit all your ways to him, that's the result that you get. Your paths are straight. So all that overlooked stuff and feeling and thoughts, that just goes away. And I want to make a key distinction, right? Or not a distinction, but I want to make a realization. I told y'all I used to feel alone. Recently I felt overlooked, right? So even though that disruption came in and I know the truth, on some level that thought pattern is still there, it's still embedded in my mind on some level, even though I now operate with a much healthier mindset. Like I no longer think and feel like I'm alone, right? But the overlooked thing for me still came up, right? So you got to be careful with what it is that you tell yourself, that you don't fall back into old habits, because it's very easy to get sucked back into them. You feel what I'm saying? You can conquer a demon, conquer a stronghold, get to the top of the mountain, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not careful, you can still fall back into that old way. You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta stay vigilant, you know what I'm saying, in your new health, in your new wealth of richness of life. You feel what I'm saying? And now that's all I got. So thank you for listening to the Difference Podcast. This has been your boy, the Speaker of Truth. I have spit my truth. If you stay to the end of the video, you will see all of my socials. I did mean what I said. If you feel overlooked, hit me up. Go in the comment section below. DM me on Instagram. What am I doing? TikTok. I don't know if you can DM me on Pinterest, but all of it will be at the end of the video. You'll see it. Just stick to the end. Wait on it. Wait it out. Okay? Wait it out. So yeah. Hope y'all took something from this. This was very therapeutic for me. I think this was a very good episode, especially compared to the last episode. Not that the last episode was bad, because like I said, it was going up. But I just think this is a healthier version of what needed to be said. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.